Hey everybody, Dr. Misty here. Thanks for joining. I'm excited to share some of this information with you guys. It's fall, we're getting into the colder seasons and the winter months are coming, and a lot of that brings sickness, flu, things like that. So I really wanted to get into some great ways you guys can get into flu prevention as well as stay healthy throughout those winter months, okay? So a lot of people are going for flu shots, and while I won't tell everybody whether or not to choose the flu shot. I will tell you to please do your research on what you are putting into your body. And I will tell you to make choices based off of your individualized health, as well as if you can support yourself naturally. I'm always for that over putting other stuff into our body. That choice obviously is yours. I don't want to get into that too much today, but I do want to talk about ways that you can naturally, if you choose the natural route and you'd rather support yourself naturally over doing a flu shot, if you feel like you need to have a flu shot, I'm going to give you some recommendations on how you can do that and help stay healthy throughout the winter months. Okay, so some of the things that come up, a lot of viruses, obviously. Flu is viral, a lot of bacterial infections. We're in closed areas more, right? So what we need to do is really create for ourselves within our body an amplification of how our body is fighting those viruses and bacteria, okay? So when the people who are coming in regularly for chiropractic, not only is that helping you, chiropractic is so wonderful at managing symptoms and managing musculoskeletal pain, but it's also highly effective at regulating your nervous system and your health overall. So your nervous system is part of your 11 different body systems. And so getting chiropractic adjustments, not only, especially if they're in the upper neck, cervical, or in the pelvis, really helps to stimulate specific nerves that go more towards your internal organs in your parasympathetic nervous system. So it helps with stress, which helps if your stress levels are down, your immune system will be able to function much better. It helps with stimulation of what's called the vagus nerve, which also helps with stress levels, reducing heart rate, things like that. It also helps with better digestion, helps with blood flow more towards our internal organs, right? So it helps with the stress management aspect, and it helps with the actual functionality of our organs. It helps with the nerve supply to our organs to function. So that's really important, especially if you come in for neck adjustments. We're stimulating right in the middle of the neck. There's a nerve, excuse me, it's called the phrenic nerve, right about the C4-5 level. So if you are somebody who has arthritis, and that's typically the level that we see a lot of degeneration, that's something that will really help with stimulating the movement of your diaphragm for diaphragmatic breathing. What that means is that your body, you're actually breathing with your diaphragm. There's a muscle right underneath your lungs. It helps to stimulate more breath with your diaphragm, breathing with your abdomen, versus your chest and your neck and muscle tissue here. Because what that is called, it's called paradoxical breathing. So it helps in so many ways. So those of you who are coming in for regular adjustments, that's one of the best things that you can do for your overall health, as well as to naturally manage some of your pain and your symptoms. So that's absolutely a piece of it. The other thing is making sure that you are taking in a probiotic of some sort. So we want to really boost our immune system and the good bugs in our GI tract, because that's what a lot of our immunity comes from, is our gut. So if you are somebody who is having a lot of GI tract issues, this is something that you definitely want to consider. Anyway, but if you don't, that's a great way to boost your immunity. So having a probiotic supplement that has at least, 6 to 8 different strains in it, and minimum 15 billion organisms in it, okay? The other thing is you can also get some more probiotics from other foods and things like that. So foods like sauerkraut, foods like non-dairy yogurt, usually dairy I recommend staying away from, just because of the fact that the dairy will actually create more mucus production. So your body, if you're, you're going to have say an Activia strawberry yogurt to get your probiotics. Okay, so that brand, I won't go into the whole story, but I remember a professor of mine actually went and did a study by himself and studied like all the brands of yogurts and cultured them to see which one had the most live cultures. What he came back with was the one that had the most alive cultures, and one of the only alive cultures was Stonyfield Organic. Okay, so just be mindful when you are getting yogurt, the cultures can die off depending on how the environment is, as well as there's lots of sugar in that. Okay, so regular yogurt isn't always the best option to get probiotics from. So supplementation, kombucha is actually great. So if you actually come to the greengrocer next to the office, they have kombucha on tap. It's lower calorie. It has a great diversity of probiotic as well. Really helpful for boosting the immune system. Another thing would be sauerkraut or kefir. Kefir is great too. And though kefir is still, again, on the dairy level, there is a lot more probiotic in that versus if you went to get a generic type of yogurt. Plus, when you're having that yogurt that's non-organic, you're getting a lot of the hormones and antibiotics that was put into the cow if it's not organic. So just be mindful of that. That's another topic, but immune boosting, try those other things, and probiotic. Another great thing to help with flu prevention and viral prevention, vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important. So we think of vitamin D as being outside, specifically vitamin D3. Now, vitamin D3 gets actually made from the sunlight hitting your skin. It gets made and then converted in your liver, okay? So when we're not outside, or when there's less sunlight and the intensity of the rays are not as strong, we have less conversion of D3. So especially in New England, we need to make sure we're all taking vitamin D3, which is very immune boosting. Now, the typical recommendation for that is 400 IUs. That's the RDA you're going to see on the minimum dietary recommendation. I actually recommend people to take 2,000 IUs. So that is a standard. That's more of an optimal level. If you feel that you are deficient, or if you've been tested deficient, you want to go more towards 5,000 IUs a day. Okay, so good level of vitamin D every day, a probiotic. Other things that you can do would be take zinc, echinacea, lots of vitamin C, citrus fruits, drinking lemon water in the morning, excellent way. The other thing that you guys can do is use essential oils. So I know I've talked about essential oils in the past with some of you guys and done some of the classes, so I wanted to give you a little bit more information because they're so powerful and they're so effective, and they can really help with not only boosting immunity, but safely managing symptoms. So if you are somebody who gets a lot of colds during the winter, you're more susceptible to pneumonia, you've been on rounds of antibiotics, I would highly, highly recommend you to try some of these alternatives, because what's going to happen is you're managing some of the symptoms, and yes, you're getting some of the stuff taken care of, the infections taken care of, but then your immune system is really being affected. Okay, so in order to have a strong offense, we need to build it up. Okay, so what oils can you use for a positive immune system? So frankincense, number one. Frankincense goes back to the biblical era, right? Frankincense and myrrh. And even those of you who are not religious, yes, frankincense in all the stories back then, during that, like hundreds and thousands of years ago, they used frankincense. So what these oils do are they're broken down into such molecular small molecules that when you either ingest them put them topically on your skin or you inhale them, the molecules are so small that they transfer through through your cells, especially because they're oils, right? So especially if you put it on your skin and topically, because your cell layers are fat soluble, it will seep quickly through the cell walls and cell layers into your bloodstream a lot quicker. So like within 5 minutes, it can be transferred into your bloodstream. Really, really, really powerful. Okay, that's a lot quicker than taking even a supplement. That's a lot quicker than taking, you know, a decongestant, which is also, you know, has some side effects as well. They work well and they work powerfully because the types of oils that I have in the office, they're therapeutic grade. Okay, so they're powerful and they work. So frankincense is great. Oregano oil is so powerful. Now it might be so powerful that you definitely don't want to take it underneath your tongue. This is not an ingestible one. This is more of either diffuser one, or if you want to put it on your skin, I would recommend doing it with some fractionated coconut oil, as well as maybe putting it even under your feet, because that's something that is a little bit more powerful. Clove is another one. Again, that's also really powerful. But oregano oil is excellent for not only, it's like antibacterial, antiviral, melaleuca and tea tree are also antifungal. So these are excellent things to incorporate into a daily habit. You can also make capsules out of the oregano oil. So if you have, if you get vegetarian capsules, you can pour about 3 drops of the oregano oil into the capsule with fractionated coconut oil and ingest that. And there you go. That is a huge benefit for you and a huge immune booster and viral killer right there. Okay. If you guys find yourself into situations where you are having difficulty with some respiratory issues, or you are somebody who gets, you know, colds often, some great ones that you want to do, especially for people who are asthmatics, is cardamom. So cardamom has an amazing antihistamine effect. It will get in your bloodstream quickly and help with even asthmatic attacks. Okay, so somebody who is indoors a lot or in a dusty area, things like that, that's definitely something that you want to have on hand. Peppermint and eucalyptus are really powerful as well for opening up the nasal passageways and help with the breathing. If you incorporate turmeric with it, it has an anti-inflammatory effect. Okay, and then the other one would be Douglas fir. Okay, you can get all those. There's one, there's actually an oil called Breathe. Let me see if I have it here. So the one this one is called Breathe. This one has specifically in it, I believe, all those, as well as lemon and cinnamon. Okay, so that one, particularly with turmeric, if my kids get colds or viruses, I'll automatically go towards that one because I know that that's going to be opening up their lungs. You drop a couple drops in the shower, great way to open up the lungs and help with respiratory issues. So again, those are some great options that you can do to support yourself naturally. If you don't want to go towards the flu shot this year, I really, on a personal level, I don't typically recommend people to get flu shots, only because of what goes into it and depending on their immune system. It really depends on the situation. And on an average, I usually try to help people with a decent immune system do things to fight it naturally. Okay, our body is made to fight off viruses. There are people who have immunodeficiencies and young children. There are different, everybody's situation is different. So I hope you found that information helpful, and utilize that. If you guys want any recommendations or supplementation, I have the online dispensary set up right off the website. So www.newhorizonchiro.com. You can go there, my essential oil store is up there. Feel free to look around there, as well as the dispensary for any type of supplementation. Again, I'm happy to recommend anything for you if you'd like to go that route. And come in and get adjusted if you haven't gotten adjusted in a while. Really, it's especially for times if people have had, if you guys have had colds and back pain and neck pain, you know, help your body, help your nervous system, and allow yourself to open up a little bit more with your breathing, and, you know, help yourself. All right. I look forward to seeing you all, and thanks so much for watching.